Okay, what happens when all the AI experts think AI is building some future that is very optimistic and everyone else thinks it's a threat? Welcome to 2025. Let me explain the latest research and what it's saying about all of this. So Pew Research actually dropped a giant report that shows the chasm between optimism and reality as it relates to AI and how it's leveraged in our society. Over 1,000 AI experts were surveyed alongside 5,000 US adults. And here's the results. 75% of the AI experts that were polled said they definitely think that AI will benefit them personally, whereas only 25% of the Americans that were surveyed said just that it would benefit them. That's a huge discrepancy. Experts are saying that AI will improve work, while the public, and rightfully so, thinks it's coming for their jobs to undermine their ability to make money. And that's just true in some respects. You know, it's less of an AI revolution and more of this sort of hostile takeover, but it does have a lot better branding. And here's the funniest bit that came out of this report. Over half of both groups don't trust the government or corporations to regulate it. So I guess we can agree on that. Even the people that are building this stuff, the self-proclaimed AI experts that are building these tools, think that their corporate overlords are kind of asleep at the wheel and a little oblivious to the main zeitgeist feelings. Us, we're the zeitgeist guys. Zeitgeist guys. That kind of has a fun phonetic ring. Anyway, let's talk about the regulation of it all. That's not sexy, but it kind of is. We're not going to talk policy as much as we are going to talk about the performance of policy, because Congress can drag every big tech CEO into hearings that look like bad improv in the sorts where none of the questions being asked are really pertinent or relevant to the situation, and the big tech CEOs can sort of offset that by answering in lingo that, well, Senate, Congress, they just don't know. They don't understand. They'll mess up the terms. They don't get the lingo. One expert went as far as to say, quote, "I don't know that I have faith that they'd bring enough experts on to regulate this, but they think it's very important." So the translation and an analogy that could be made is if the house is on fire, the people that are in charge to manage the fire only have squirt guns. They don't have the tools needed to actually deal with this issue. The issue being creating policy that regulates this stuff. And that policy would have safeguards for us, the human that is being impacted by all this AI stuff. Whether you're an artist, whether you're in the medical field, whether you're a laborer in a warehouse, to some degree, AI will affect us all. In fact, nearly 60% of US adults say that they have little to no control over AI in their own lives today, in our year of 2025. And honestly, the experts feel the same. You can't opt out of facial recognition, any sort of algorithmic policing, resume sorting bots. It's really been integrated in many facets of our lives. It's not a feature, it's the main default. Default, what's up? And meanwhile, Sam Altman, the CEO from OpenAI, is saying that AI will, quote, join the workforce. And my little materialistic brain is wondering, will it give about workers' rights? Will it unionize and advocate for the human here? Or is it beholden to its corporate overlord developers and how it was designed? Or will it not have 2 cents? Because again, that is how it was designed. It really comes back to how the models, how the robots will behave. And I know it sounds very sci-fi, but that is 2025. Gallup and the Walton Family Foundation found that 79% of Gen Z uses AI tools like ChatGPT, Copilot, down to tools in Canva, etc. AI is embedded in almost every application we use on a daily basis. But regardless, it doesn't mean that Gen Z or millennials or any other generation trusts AI. And we shouldn't. We should have an inherent distrust of AI, particularly an inherent distrust of those that is creating it. And only 27% of those surveyed said that AI gives them a sense of hope. In fact, 41% go on to say it makes them feel anxious. And the other 32% are probably just exhausted. Probably tired. And nearly half of those that were surveyed say AI could harm the ability to think critically. And as a former teacher and as a current lifelong learner, it really concerns me. Meanwhile, schools and workplaces are definitely struggling on how to teach leveraging AI tools in a productive way, how to use it productively. There are no clear policies, there are no clear guidance. It's honestly just a vibes-based analysis, which I'm usually about. But in this context, I don't know if that's gonna bode well. And honestly, I think there is something to be said about routine, and when institutions can put in very clear rules, trust does tend to go up. It's almost like structure can build confidence. Imagine that. AI is evolving fast, but unfortunately, this survey shows us the trust is not evolving as fast as the AI models are. The trust is still in beta, but the systems are getting smarter, but the people expected to live under them feel sidelined in a way. They feel unprotected, they feel unheard, and honestly, that's true. I think it's pretty clear that we as Americans don't fear AI because it's new and not completely understood, but we fear it because we know exactly who it will serve and who it will not serve. It always comes back to those that have and those that do not have. I felt better in my head. So where does this leave us? If you're building AI and working intimately with it, I think it's about high time we stop calling skepticism irrational fear. It's totally a rational response to a system that's excluded most people from the table. But also, we're asking people to trust it, so you can see this discrepancy, this sort of chasm that's happening. Because according to both experts and the public, AI systems are overwhelmingly reflecting that perspective of white men. And if you made it this far into the video, please hear me out and hear the experts out. It's not just because white dudes are overrepresented in tech, and they certainly are, but it's because their worldviews get baked into the data and the models and the outcomes at higher rates than everybody else. And it's not a bug, it's an absolute feature that's designed by a narrow slice of society. This bit of society are the ones who hold the keys to innovation, power, capital. So when AI gets to decide who gets the job based off of a resume, what news you get to see, or how your voice is heard, take a moment to realize whose assumptions are driving those decisions. I don't think the problem isn't that technology lacks diversity. It's that the consequences of the absence that shows up everywhere, especially for those that, AI ignores, misrepresents, or flattens into stereotypes, it can be pretty detrimental. AI definitely didn't invent inequality, it just sort of automated it in a new way. And I think, personally, as neither an expert but a simple curious folk on the internet that actually digs technology and loves to see cool applications of it, I want to see a future where technology serves people, not just profits, not just power, but we definitely need more innovation in the right way. We need oversight, we need inclusion, and we need to pressure our policymakers to ensure that this happens, not just do trust falls with their CEO billionaire friends in Congress for performative measures. Because when AI is shaped by the same systems that gave us this sort of mass surveillance, workplace discrimination, predictive policing, and much more, I would argue we are not getting intelligence out of this AI. Instead, we're getting scalability. So again, I don't think the issue is that people don't get AI. They don't understand the power of AI. I think they understand exactly what's happening and exactly what it's replicating and scaling. Like, comment, and follow for more videos like this if you like what I have to say and you dig my commentary on it. And until next time, bye.